My inclination would be that considering the linguistic abilities and the roots of the brothers, especially the older brother being from the very important area, and we don't have many people from Caucasus in the United States. And here's this individual who speaks fluent Russian, he speaks fluent Chechen, familiar with Turkic languages, speaks fluent English, been here long enough. He would be the perfect target to approach to recruit for the State Department, or CIA, aka State Department. It happened to me in 1997. So I could see as a pretty plausible hypothesis here, the CIA, State Department approaching and recruiting the brothers, okay, and then FBI later in 2011 getting the tip from the Russians, and FBI is domestic. FBI doesn't send people overseas to go to Dagestan to collect information or play as assets. That is not the way FBI operates. A lot of stuff that are described here fits within the recruitment from the CIA State Department for the overseas operation. This also fits with the trip or the trips, plural, that the older brother took and went to the region. Now, FBI, unaware of these, may have received, as they say, and is probably correct, the tip from the Russians, the Russian intelligence services, and they went and followed up, and then they were told by the CIA to close and just zip and go away because those guys were under, or at least one of them was under the CIA control, asset operatives. So with all these things, the scenario can change. These guys could have been assets. FBI gets the tips from the Russians. Then they get a tip again for the second time from the Russians. Then the question becomes, well, how things changed between 2009, 2010 to 2012, how to get rid of them, okay? Possibility. Two, how to get rid of them while we try or while we achieve several other objectives. And one of these objectives, maybe, we will get into it, what is going on with Syria. Is there a possibility that we want to actually maybe give some deals to the Russians or leeways with the Chechens? Is it the time? We have done it a lot. Mujahideens were our best friends and then our worst enemies. Again, the public are always kept outside of it. The mainstream media, they only take their script from the State Department, their transcript, they just run it there.
For example, The Blaze has a story up about Governor Deval Patrick, who apparently was talking about the video showing the bombing suspects dropping their bags and taking cover, and he described it as chilling. And then down in the fourth or fifth paragraph of that story, they admit that, in fact, he hadn't seen the videotape. He was just describing what had been described to him. So again, we still haven't seen the evidence that would even actually indicate they were involved.
And I know we are mostly focusing, you and I, with our coverage on the international aspects of it, the great game and what we have been covering. And when I was talking about various objectives that could be achieved with this, it's like, why? Okay, so we know that it's not true what happened. This is one way or another. And I don't buy the FBI's creation on this, even though I know they do a lot of false flag in their different ways. This has the footprint of the other, the real evil agency is the domestic objectives, and that is they implemented very successfully the martial laws there in Boston, and it was truly disgusting to see how successful it was for the United States government. You mean you're looking at one teenager dead, the other one on the run, a 19-year-old that had no paramilitary training, no military training, a 19-year-old boy running around loose, and they lock down and the retails, and they go and they invade people's home, and it achieved domestically, it achieved several objectives. And one of them is that is the most important one, is basically the graduation, I would call it, the graduation of our police state status. As far as the international objectives, what is going to be achieved by this, I would say the next 10 days to 2 weeks going to show us. I will keep a close watch on Syria and what's going to happen with Russia's position on Syria. I will also watch very closely the region as far as one of the players there, Georgia, one of our current puppets, Georgia there within that region and Ossetia.